Thank you for joining the Author Spotlight Show. My name is Gail Watson, founder and CEO of Women Speakers Association and WSA Publishing, a place that is dedicated to sharing and promoting the gifted messages of women in over 120 countries. When we open our hearts to a world and lead with empathy, we are unstoppable. We love to shine the spotlight on inspiring women who are transforming the lives of those around them through loving dedication and compassion. And by sharing personal struggles or challenges, these brave women reimagine boundaries of what is possible and come to the conclusion that the potential of their influence in this world is limitless. Today, I have the proud honor of introducing you to international best-selling author Marlene Prinzing, who is co-author of Voices of the 21st Century, Conscious, Caring Women Who Make a Difference. So please join me in welcoming Marlene. Welcome to the show, Marlene.
Thank you.
Really good to see you. You're looking
Yes.
beautiful as ever. Marlene, would love to dive deep because you take a really different approach in this isn't your story. I understand that you share the story of a client. Can you share with us what inspired you to share this story?
Yes. Yes. So a lot of the authors who we co-authored with sort of chose to tell their story. And I thought it was much more poignant and specific, especially since I've been doing this for 40 years, to tell people someone else's story based upon mine in the background. So if you want to know my story, it is on my website, and the title of it is I Have the Worst Parents in the World, but I'm not going to see. But what did I do with that, right? And I won't even tell you. You'll have to go to my website to find it out. So I turned that around very, very long ago and thought I'll just tell a story of an experiential moment with a client. Of course, I'm using Jane as a fictitious person. And I've been asked for several years, like, how are you doing this? What are you doing? Because it just sort of was reverse engineering the way that I was doing it. It's based on body processing or somatic processing or kinesiology, but it has what I call an intuitive slant. So I chose a very specific sort of example of a lady who had gotten in, I'll say 10 car accidents, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. And the story is about how then she came to reprogram her tissue memory, how I guided her, and how she's never had another car accident again. And I thought that was much more, that speaks much more, I think, to what I do and how I help people, as opposed to telling them my story.
I love that. That's powerful. And I know you've been gifted with a very special gift as an intuitive expert. So tell me, what is it when people are reading this story that you would like them to take away, that you'd like readers to take away from that story?
Yeah. I'm going to use one of the 7 positive emotions, which it's almost like colors, there's primary colors. And one of the positive emotions is hope, right? And I know it all too well. I've lived here in Colorado, and we had a little fire disaster here, and I had to use my own techniques just to sort of get through the day. It's a very unusual event here that really came close to home for me. So I want readers to take away that there is hope, but why or how is there hope? Well, here's how there is hope. Everything that we do and every experience we have, from conception to death, birth to death, conception, really, it's in the womb, is programmed autonomically in our nervous system, in our body, and is sometimes called tissue memory. Olympic athletes call it muscle memory, right? They do this thing over and over, or even when you ride a bike, all of a sudden it starts clicking in. So I've done this for 40 years in helping people, and I've never, ever taken a history. I've never even written anything down except for what I give to them, as I call homework or things to do. And every time they come in, I just reread who they are. So there's no reason for me to take a history, because in fact, they are the history. So at any age and at any time, and I've done it from children to 80-year-olds, we can reprogram our tissue memory, which then is our experience. So it's not just a behavior. It's literally reprogramming the experiences to make them what we want. And that doesn't mean the story goes away. Speaking of stories, it doesn't mean that the traumatic story of our life, so to speak, goes away. It just becomes a story with no trigger, as if that story happened to someone else, because we've reprogrammed it in you. So that's what I want people to take away, is it is possible. It's possible. We don't have to go talk about it for years or sit in a cave or whatever people do. It's really some basic body somatic kinesiological techniques that can reprogram the way that our tissue remembers. So that's the takeaway.
I love that, because what you do is very unique, highly effective, and you make it seem so simple.
Yeah, well, it is. It is
So,
to me. It is to me. Right?
I'm curious how this gift in you was uncovered, so to speak, that,
Yeah.
because you've been doing this for 40 years, and
Yeah.
it is very natural to you. You get that
Yes.
vibe for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Developmentally or psychologically, we all have our dharma or our life purpose revealed to us at age 4. And when I was 4 and I had the worst parents in the world, I actually realized it. How and why, I don't know, right? Other than the fact that I was born with a head injury and it gave me a little tuning fork in my head that other people don't have. But what I said to myself, or the message that came to me when I was 4, was, I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying not to do this. And I have. So what I've become is the good parent role to the world, which is one reason why I don't have children, because everybody is my child, right? Now, the end of that story is long ago, a career coach said exactly what you just said. So this is so funny, right? Because I'm doing it, I'm in it, and I almost didn't realize what I was doing. And a career coach said, I almost want to say verbatim to what you just said. She said to me, well, Marlene, what you're doing is a little unusual, but it's effective, right? She said, it's kind of different, yet you're combining things in a way that I haven't seen before as far as the body's concerned. She also then said, well, your last name is a little bit unusual and you're a tiny bit unusual. And I am. I have the rarest blood type. I have the 1.5% in the Myers-Briggs personality. I'm 6 feet tall. Everything about me is kind of rare. So I never thought of this because it's a no-brainer. The name of my company is the Prinzing Method, which is my last name, right? And I've been on radio shows and other shows, and the joke is, if you forget my company name, just think of the printing method, because that's the mistake that everybody makes. Everybody makes it, especially if you don't see it and you're hearing me, right? They're like, oh, the printing method, where's the ink or something, right? So that's how it came about, really. That's how it came about.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So I'm sure there's many people right now wanting to go, I need to talk to this woman. And if you are thinking that right now, you know what, I really love to encourage you as a listener, please, reach out to Marlene and get a copy of her book. So I guess the next step here is, where can we get a copy of your book?
Yeah, and here we go. So if you forget me, don't go to theprintingmethod.com, because you're not going to get a book, even though it sounds like you might, right? That's funny. But go to theprintingmethod.com, or my name, marleneprinzing.com. It gets you to the same place. And if you're hesitating about getting the book and you want your own experience, on my website is a half-hour button that you click. It goes right to my scheduling, and most of my clients are out of state. And I do what's called a half-hour intuitive phone rating, that then I can literally read your tissue tone and your history over the phone. And how I do it, I'm not real sure, other than I was born with a head injury, and I do feel like I have a little different tuning fork in my head. And again, I was born with it, so I can't explain really how it works. But I get messages and things and pictures and themes, and they just start coming to me. So it's like I'm the channel for this information.
Wow, that sounds intriguing.
I know it
I
is to
might
me
take
too.
you up on that 30 minutes.
It's intriguing when it happens to me too. I mean, it's always different. I've done it for 40 years. It's always different. And I never know what's going to happen, which is what's so fun. Like I never know what's going to happen from client to client. And I don't know what it's going to happen between clients with the same client. And that's my dog. She wants to remind me that, let me tell you this. She wants to remind me that what I do is also for animals. And I have animal clients. So she just, she was quiet now that she's told everyone.
Wonderful. Okay, well,
Yes.
Marlene, you are vibrant and full of a lot of information. Uh, and I know that if I ask you this next question, you'll probably have a long list, but I'm wondering if we can leave our listeners with just one thing, perhaps some of your words of wisdom. Please do share that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave two tidbits of words of wisdom, which is the methodology that sort of came about balances your physical body, your physiological and or nutritional body, and the psychological body. So if you need one-stop shopping, it's here. And the one thing I want to say that the dog is reminding me is that the Prinzing method that was sort of reverse engineered for me is an intuitive kind of guiding coaching thing whereby there she goes again, where I both scientifically and successfully guide people and animals to their most effective, efficient, and effortless existence. And what I'm using are things that may not be familiar to people, but I'll call them body theories for now to do it. And those are the words of wisdom for 2022.
Love it. Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you.
You're amazing. And you know what? Thank you for sharing your gifts with this world. We need more of you.
I know, right?
Yeah. And helping people to discover their gifts.
Yeah.
And their hidden messages.
Exactly.
So you do great work.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
So anyway, I want to just personally thank you for joining us today. And your dog, what's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Puff, and there is a miracle story. The fires came in my home here in Colorado, came within 10 feet of my home. And it looked like my home was going to go up. But of course, I have too good of energy for that to happen. The fire department man, whatever they're called, the fireman, he crawled through my dog door and saved my dog, Puff.
Oh.
So miracles do happen. This is all I can say.
Shout out to that fireman. That's awesome.
And we did. I've been giving them thank you notes and gift cards and pictures and right. Like that's really a good example, right? Right to my doorstep, crawls in my dog door.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, you bring good energy. You bring good luck and happiness to many.
Yes.
So check out Marlene. Go get a copy of her book. And, because it carries such strong positive energy, perhaps there's someone else that that's around you that needs that same love and attention. This would be a phenomenal gift for them. So reach out, get a copy for yourself, get a copy for your friend. Thanks again. And to our listeners, we look forward to connecting with you again on the next Authors Spotlight Show.
Namaste.